Hey everyone, this is Jairo Morales from The Grind Fitness and welcome to my channel. On this channel, you're going to learn how to take care of your body while we do this wonderful sport called JiuJitsu. Everything from joint strength training classes to mobility classes, as well as yoga and many other professionals to teach you what is the best path for you and your JiuJitsu journey. If you haven't already, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You know what to do. Share this with somebody if you think this might help the community to be able to take care of their body for their journey on jiu-jitsu. Oos, guys. Hope to see you on the mat.
What's up, everyone? How are we doing today? My name is Tyler. If you don't know me already, Submission Yogi, and I'm here with another Wellness for Jiu-Jitsu Recovery Sunday. We're here, like Jairo said in our intro, to share with you what we love and improve the health and quality and good feelings for Jiu-Jitsu players especially. Everyone is welcome to join this class. Like always, if you haven't ventured into the world of Jiu-Jitsu yet, you might not know some of the things we're talking about with how we do a sport that is intended to hurt our bodies. And so we need to recover with something like yoga. You know, any of the things that we're offering with our Sunday recovery Sundays. We can do some breath work. We can do yoga. We can do mobility. We've got lots of options that are so important to balance out doing what we love so that we can continue to train really hard and still feel good while we're doing it. So if you don't know already, this is a donation-based yoga class that we do every week at 6 p.m. and we survive based on your support, whether that's a couple of bucks, you want to donate, links are below. We also love you clicking the buttons, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know what you think, share it with a friend. All of that helps us to sustain ourselves and move forward and continue to grow, because we're all about growth here at Wellness for Jiu-Jitsu. And that growth comes from a balance between the hard work and the relaxation, really, recovery, allowing your body the space and time that it needs to heal itself. We have magical machines under our heads that have an ability to heal ourselves, do incredibly difficult things. But if we don't sleep, that's fundamental. If we don't fuel ourselves with good food, hydrate ourselves with lots of water, if we don't do these fundamental things, then our bodies are not going to have that ability to heal. And then it's not going to be as easy or enjoyable to do the really difficult things like being stuck in bottom side control, you know, with heavy shoulder pressure. When you do enough yoga and your body's feeling good, you know, we're able to be in those uncomfortable situations, but know that it's not the end and we're going to be fine. And hopefully we're going to do this stuff that we love to do so much for a long time until we're really old. So that's what we're here to do. And I personally am a guard player, so I love sharing things that I use as a guard player to keep my hips, my lower back, and my spine, shoulders, they're all incorporated with playing guard. And if you want to be good at jiu-jitsu, you really need to develop a guard. It's really hard to learn how to pass a guard effectively if you don't understand the guard. So even if you don't like being on your back, you don't like playing guard, it's good to practice these positions and get comfortable on your back, because if you're competing or just grappling against good grapplers and getting tested, you're going to be forced into these positions. So today we're working on mobility, specifically for guard players. And we like to start off with just some deep breathing because it's a yoga tradition and it's something really effective to start to calm our monkey mind and calm our nervous system, which then allows our body to really heal and get the most out of these movements and positions that we're going to go through today. So I invite you to sit comfortably. Maybe it's on your knees, maybe it's cross-legged like I'm sitting. Get your spine nice and straight. Close your eyes, maybe roll your shoulders up and back, maybe move a little bit, maybe roll your neck once or twice, and then find yourself in a comfortable seated still position with good posture so that you can take 5 big deep breaths in through your nose if it's available, if your nose isn't stuffed up, and out through your mouth. We start with the breath to bring our awareness into our body and relax a little bit, calm our mind. So deep, slow as feels good, but really think about deepening your breath, filling the belly, filling the chest. Follow along with me if you want, or go at your own rhythm. We're doing 5 big deep breaths. Let's do it. That's 5. Do one more for good measure. Fill your belly, fill your chest fully in, and let it go. And after you finish that exhale, move nice and slowly onto your back, because we're working on guard stuff. So we're just going to start right away on our back here. Wiggle your hips a little bit side to side. Get the lower back to rest comfortably and neutral on the mat. Do the same with your shoulders. Maybe tuck your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit so you feel a good connection with your back to the mat. And kick your legs up to the sky once, straighten them, bend them, move them a little bit. And then when you're ready, grab your shins or the front of your knees and pull your knees towards your armpits, but not so much that you feel your tailbone lifting a lot. So just enough where you feel a little stretch either in your hips, in the back of your legs, and maybe compressing a little bit in your stomach. And then we're taking nice big deep breaths here, letting our legs, our feet relax, arms relax as much as possible so gravity can do most of the work in releasing tension in our hips and lower back, giving ourselves a hug. If this position, you're not feeling too much here, I invite you to reach all the way around your legs, connect your hands. I like a ball and socket grip here, but S grip's a little bit longer, but find something where you can relax your arms and feel a stretch in your hips or legs or lower back. And then nice and easy deep breathing. Sink into this pose. On the inhale, expand the area that you feel sensation in, and on the exhale, try to let go of some of that tension, some of that sensation that comes from the tension in those areas of the hips. It's super important to be able to get your knees close to your shoulders, so we keep that knee-elbow connection really strong and we're able to retain our guard. If this position is really hard for you, maybe you're more like this, that's perfectly fine. There's no necessary expectation. We're just spending time in a position that is slightly uncomfortable and allowing our body to open up into further, deeper positions, eventually pulling those knees in towards the armpit and really compressing the front hip crease. This should feel good. You should be really nice and relaxed. If you get too bored, we like to find stillness normally in a yin yoga type stretch, but these positions are also good chances to roll out your ankles or maybe wiggle side to side. No problem in adding some mobility to these nice easy stretches. But we've been here long enough, so we're going to move to the next one, keeping your left knee hugged in, either interlacing your fingers on that shin, or I like to reach with my left arm all the way around, so I'm kind of rear naked choking my left knee. Maybe I'm gable gripping with the Dan Severn here and hugging that knee close. Again, trying to keep the tailbone somewhat connected, especially those hip bones. Keep those connected to the earth. And then straighten your right leg to a place where it can relax If you want to press your heel away from you, really extend that leg and get it to connect to the mat, that's going to change a little bit more of the stretch. For me, if I really connect that leg, I have to back out of my grip and move to the interlaced fingers grip. So if this grip is even too much for you and you're not able to relax that right leg or relax your left leg, you can also hold the back of your thigh, but make a connection to that leg in a way that you can relax your arms, relax your hips, relax your lower back, everything. We're looking for minimal necessary force in this position so that gravity can do the work, our muscles can relax, and the fascia and connective tissue can start to release. We're looking for stillness, but stillness is never a reality when we're doing yoga because we're always breathing and we're always moving little tiny bits, but as small as you can make those bits and as targeted as you can focus your breath into those sensations, the more flexibility you'll gain, the more of a relationship you'll create with that pose, and the easier it'll be to go into the next time. And after enough time, you'll be able to hug your leg further and more towards your shoulder, which helps to keep your lower back and hamstrings loose, and that improves your blood flow to those areas, and that improves your ability to recover. If you're feeling sore in your hips, we work on these poses and work on relaxing here so that your body can heal itself and fix these areas. We're going to do more mobility stuff a little later, but this static stretch here is a good place to spend time. Call it wind removing pose because it compresses your abdomen and maybe removes some wind from inside of your lower half. Check in with your breathing. How deep, how full are you breathing? Is it easy? In through the nose, out through the mouth is nice. In through the nose, out through the nose is even better. If the sensations are increasing to the point of too much discomfort, you can back out a little bit. Or if the sensations start to fade away, maybe you hug in a little bit deeper towards the end. And we're just about there. Give yourself one nice big hug. Bring that right knee back up. Wiggle your lower back a little bit. Let's do a little bridge to reset. So plant both your feet on the mat at about finger length, arm length. Touch your heels with your fingers. Plant your feet, bridge your hips. Take a breath. Press your hips up high, up onto your shoulder blades. And let that go. That's just resetting. Hug both knees. Hug the right knee, get a grip, interlace fingers, the Dan Severn, full rear naked choke if you're super flexible. Really hug that knee towards you, and then straighten your left leg. Then find the balance between the front of the left hip being relaxed, but you can stretch that too, no problem. Pull on your right leg, get some juicy stretch going, some nice sensation that feels good. Can be intense. Just avoid pain, avoid any of those really sharp, prickling pain sensations. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something more easy so we can spend some time here. And once you're here, see how much you can relax, see how much you can let go in those areas of tension. And the breath is really the tool for letting go of that tension. full. Hips are feeling a little bit looser. Let's go arms overhead, straighten both of your legs, and just reach to the sky or to the wall behind you. Interlaced fingers pressing your palms towards that wall. And then pull your toes back towards your shins, flexing your feet, and then point your toes towards the far wall, towards the other end of your mat. Maybe you're outside, no walls. I love it. Stretch full length. And then let it go. Let's go feet to the mat. We're going to do another bridge here, but make your feet a little bit wider, a little closer to the edge of your mat, so your feet are just outside of your hip line. Bridge your hips up, and now lifting your toes, let your knees fall to the left side with your hips lifted, and then once your knees hit, your hips come back down. So we're floating our hips and our knees back up to center, and the knees are falling to the right side, and the hips come down as late as they can. You should feel some good cramping and sensations in your hips. Or maybe you're really juicy and loose, and this is no problem for you. Add a little bit more hip engagement as we kind of windshield wiper our knees side to side. Should feel it in the lower back, kind of the QL, quadratus laborum, if you're not familiar with that. It's a kind of unknown muscle, but it's probably one of the most important in my mind for hip flexibility, lower back, pain and tension relief. It's a really tight but small muscle that you can target with a lacrosse ball, and a lot of yoga stretches that we do can target that QL. So see if you can feel some sensation in that area as we move side to side. Nice. One more time, each side. And then back to center, recenter your back, hug your knees again. We're going to do a little bit of rock and rolls. This is going to help to massage our spine and bring a little bit of movement. So first, tucking your chin, lifting your shoulders up off the mat, a little bit of core engagement. A lot of guard play is about having a strong core and being able to do things with your legs as your core is engaged so that you're not giving up any space. You're not flat on your back. We practice here to release our hips, but in jiu-jitsu, we're tucking into a ball. So stay here a little bit and then grab the shins or the hamstrings and start to use your legs to kick and roll the length of your spine as slow and controlled as possible. Means you're doing it right. And then we're going to stop up on our shoulders after a couple more rolls in our upside down guard position, plow pose in yoga. And if this is not a comfortable position for you, that's okay. You can start with your hips a little lower, supported on your hands, on your hips, on your butt, and then your elbows kickstand into the ground so you're supporting yourself. Now you shouldn't feel any tension in your neck if you're not that far into this. If you're really comfortable here, start to walk your feet towards the mat. If they're straight, they can be bent and relaxed too, no problem. Keep that weight on your shoulders and only move into your neck if you're really comfortable with it. For my part, I really love to stay here on my shoulders and rock side to side because I'm putting all of my body weight into my scapulas and my shoulder blades, even a little bit of my trapezius. So when I'm upside down like this and I'm working on my breathing because it's constricted, so it's not easy to breathe here, but we're getting comfortable in this position. The side to side movement, I'm actually giving myself a nice shoulder massage. Play around with the arm position. Up overhead can be really nice, or kind of out in this we call cactus arm, so it's like 90 degrees with your arms, or keep them supporting yourself. No problem. We're just spending some time here. Try to massage your shoulders.
maybe those knees can come all the way, toes come to the mat, maybe even your knees come to the mat on either side of your head, really compressing the front side of your sternum and rib cage. How's your breathing? If you're really having a hard time breathing, it's probably not doing you any benefit to be upside down like this. So come back to a place where you can breathe a little bit easier. And then once the breath is easy, work from there so that the nervous system isn't stressed. Because if the nervous system is stressed when we're upside down like this, we're not going to get the relief in the areas that we need. So let's work slow. And I've been doing this for a long time, so it's easy for me to be upside down talking like this. But I can even be more loose after a jiu-jitsu match with after jiu-jitsu class where my hips are more loose and I'm really able to compress down in this position. So there's lots of different levels, but all of us can spend some time here. And I think we've spent about enough. So slowly coming down, maybe grabbing your shin, tuck your chin as you drop, and slow and controlled, bring those legs back down. Interlace your fingers behind your head so you can kind of rest your head in your fingers and your hands. And we're going to do a little bit of mobility with our hips and knees. This is always a nice way to stimulate some blood flow, a good warm-up for before jiu-jitsu class. So I'm drawing circles with my feet. It might seem complicated at first, so stop one of your feet and just draw a circle in one direction with your other foot. And that circle can be big enough that your hip moves a little bit, or it can be a little tighter and just the knee stays still and rotates. Your ankle can be involved in the position. So as it comes in, we're almost thinking about leg pummeling here. So recovering our guard. So as that foot comes inside, the toes come in. Maybe you're catching a butterfly guard there or something. So we've got that movement. And if you want to time it with a circle in the opposite direction, it's kind of fun. You draw a pattern like this with both of your feet in a circle. As you're getting more comfortable, you can speed it up, and you can even do this really fast here. So controlled, but I'm also relaxed and loose as I'm doing this. And the more I'm engaging my core, I'm building up some heat in my body. That can be nice too. You can sit back and be relaxed and focus on just the hips too. So let's switch directions if you got that down. So start with one leg. If it's confusing, draw that circle in one direction, move your ankle, and then do both legs. Opposite directions that we were doing before. Each leg is moving in a circle in the opposite direction. It looks complicated, but after you've done it a few times, it's pretty natural. Now, maybe this one's a little bit more familiar. We're going to go same direction. So feet are kind of moving together, but you're still drawing circles. I'm going to turn so you can see a little bit differently what I'm doing. Hip mobility work here. Draw a few circles in one direction. Stop. Go back in the other direction. Maybe your hips and legs are burning right now. That's great. It's going to help us stretch even better a little bit later. Boom. All right, let's do one of my favorite nice hip opener stretch. It's the figure four. This is, pigeon pose. This is a reclined version of pigeon pose. Some people love to get into the full pigeon pose. So if that's really your thing, feel free to go there. Girls have typically a lot more open hips, but for us guys, this reclined pigeon pose is typically more than enough. So even just staying right here, I'm putting my right ankle on the top of my left quad thigh and then pressing my knee open until I feel a little stretch in that hip. You can bridge your hips up, feel the engagement and what's going on in your hips. Let them talk to you a little bit. And then when you're ready, we're bringing everything towards our shoulders, interlacing our fingers either behind the thigh or in front of the shin, and just giving yourself another nice hug here as you gently press your right knee away from you, opening up that right hip. Take 5 nice big deep breaths in this Reclined figure 4 stretch. Should feel like a blend between nice, feeling good, but feeling a little bit intense in the sensation. No pain, but a good intense sensation here. And then direct your breathing towards those areas of sensation. And let go. No force. Relax your face, your feet. One more nice big deep breath. Remember, this is a pose you can spend a long time in. If you're watching TV, listening to a podcast, or just bored and don't have anything better to do, stretch out your hips. If you're 10th Planet guy, Eddie Bravo talks about being able to go into lotus. This is one step of working towards that, developing that flexibility that we need for different kinds of guards. Let's go to the other side. So plant your right foot like you're doing a bridge. Kick your left foot up in the air. Bend your knee, left ankle, right thigh. Without any help, press that knee away until you feel the engagement. Bridge your hips. Press that knee away. See how that feels in your hip girdle. Maybe use your hand to press that knee. Now that you got that sensation figured out, bring everything towards your chest. Lift your, you're not lifting your tailbone too much, but lift your knees towards, make a connection under your thigh, in front of your shin. Give yourself a bit of a hug, but as much as you can, let your shoulders, arms, any muscles that you don't need to work here so that gravity can do the work instead of your musculature. And breathe. Fill your belly. Breathe with your nose. As you spend time in a stretch, it's going to go one of two ways. Either the sensations are going to intensify, and if they intensify to the point of pain, back off. If they intensify and become super tingly or numb, that's fine. That's good. That's a sign that your connective tissues and things are really letting go and you're getting blood flow to new areas. And if the sensations start to disappear, hug yourself a little bit deeper. Make that stretch a little bit more intense, both by pulling on your right leg or deepening your grip on the right leg, and also gently pressing your left knee away from your shoulder. One more big deep breath. Give yourself a nice extra little squeeze. And when you let go, kick your left leg up to the sky. Plant it back down. We'll do a little bridge here to reset. Lift your hips. Take a couple breaths. Bring your hips back down. And for our last pose, we're going to do a reclined Batakanasana, reclined butterfly stretch. So your feet can come together. Feel free to work out any tension if those stretches were a little intense. Bring a little bit of blood flow back into those joints. And then bring your feet together. Use your hands if necessary. Heels close to your butt is nice, but not necessary. I don't have the most open hips, so some people have their heels close to their butt and their knees are almost on the ground. For me, I like a little bit more space. I feel the stretch a little bit better. Also, if your hips are really tight or letting gravity stretch your hips here is too much, use some props, put some blocks underneath your legs to give yourself a little bit of support. And your hips are still opening up in this position. It's just you don't need to pull so much on them. Give them a little bit of support because we're looking for relaxation here primarily. So get comfortable. Make those little adjustments that you need in your hips, in your feet, in your shoulders. Walking your scapulas underneath you a little bit is a nice way to help your arms to open up, palms open up to the sky. Set your neck and head in a good position so that you can spend a few minutes here We'll use this as our final pose for the class, our kind of shavasana. Keep your breathing deep, but you don't need to change it at all. You can notice your breath, notice your body, see if you feel any changes in those areas that we worked, in our hips and lower back. Bring a nice gentle smile to your face and enjoy this moment of silence and stillness. If your mind is wandering, bring it back to your body, back to your breath. No stress, just easy breathing. If the hip stretch is a little bit stressful, a little bit intense, no worries. Just straighten your legs. Enjoy this last minute of full total relaxation, as comfortable as you can be on the hard ground. Just spending time here is really nice for your spine. Every breath that you take actually does a little bit of axial extension in your spine, so you grow less than a millimeter taller with every breath, and that helps to take away some of the compression that we suffer from jujitsu, having people on top of us and pressing into us. So just laying flat on your back and breathing is one of the best things you can do for jujitsu recovery. It's also a nice position to do deep breath work. If you want to explore some of the other videos that we have and do maximal expansion breath or the Wim Hof method, these are all things that really balance jiu-jitsu practice nicely. And that's the 30 minutes for me, so stay there as long as feels good for you. Let this video end and just enjoy this time that you've given to yourself, or sit up and give yourself a minute here in a seated position and smile. Say thanks to yourself for spending this time on your body, for improving your guard and mobility for your guard. And next time you're on the mats, hopefully things are feeling a little bit better. Come back to this class, do it again. It'll feel even different and better the next time. Share it with anyone who's trying to work on their guard, a friend who might benefit from this. And that's it for me, Submission Yogi, Wellness for Jiu-Jitsu, Recovery Sundays. We say thanks. We appreciate your support and the love that you give us. We love doing this. So until next time, later.